Follow Jesus. Hello, I'm Robin Matson. Thank you for joining me for today's Good News Reflection. Today is Saturday, August 1st. In today's chapter of the day reading, we are in Mark 1. I invite you to read the entire chapter, but for today's reflection, I would like us to focus in on verses 16 through 20. In these verses, Jesus extends an invitation to be part of his team. They read, "As Jesus was walking along the shore of Galilee, he noticed two brothers fishing, Simon and Andrew. He watched them as they were casting their nets into the sea and said to them, 'Come follow me, and I will transform you into men who catch people instead of fish.' Immediately they dropped their nets and left everything behind to follow Jesus." Walking a little farther, Jesus found two brothers sitting on a boat, along with their father mending their nets. Their names were James and John, and their father Zebedee. Jesus immediately walked up to them and invited the two brothers to become his followers. At once, James and John dropped their nets, stood up, left their father in the boat with the hired men, and followed Jesus. So I have an Instagram account for my Labri business. And when I first formed it and created it, I thought I would just follow anyone who invites me to follow them. So I did. Well, it didn't go quite so well as I thought. Some of the people I followed did not have the best intention about why they asked me to follow them. I even had one person from another country ask me to be his mom and give him money. I very quickly unfollowed him. I had always heard that having a lot of followers is good for business. But I quickly learned that I need to be picky about who I choose to follow and at what invitation I accept. In our verses today, Jesus extended an invitation to Simon, Andrew, James, and John to follow him. And without hesitation, they left everything and followed him. Now, this kind of following is way different than following someone on Facebook or Instagram. Jesus' kind of following is a life commitment. A commitment to spend time with him, to learn from him, to be changed by him. And these fishermen, well, they were all in. What do you think motivated them to leave everything and commit their life to Jesus? Maybe it's what he offered them. You see, Jesus was a rabbi, and in this culture, rabbis chose students, or disciples as they were called then, based on many different things, but mostly on what they did and what their parents did. Fishermen in this culture were not exactly considered ideal disciple candidates. So Peter, James, John, and Andrew would not have been chosen by any rabbi to be a disciple. Yet Jesus chose them. And when they said yes, he transformed them. He didn't just choose them, he transformed them and he changed their lives. As we continue to read the rest of the Gospels and the rest of the Bible, we will see Jesus transform these simple fishermen into men that would literally change the world. As we know, Simon, who later became Peter, actually was the rock on which Jesus built his church. So he was the first church founder. But just because Jesus is no longer walking the earth, does it mean that he stopped asking people to follow him? By no means. I believe Jesus is offering the same invitation to me and to you. "Come follow me," I hear him say, "and I will transform you into someone who will catch people and change the world." Okay, but you might wonder, what does it mean in this day and age to be a follower of Jesus? What's expected of the follower? What do I have to do? Do I have to leave my job, leave everything? Well, in today's reading, they literally left everything. I mean, James and John left their father sitting in the boat. They left their nets sitting on the side of the water. They literally left everything and literally lived with Jesus for 3 years. But then after he went back to home to heaven, they continued living like Jesus, sharing his message of hope. I believe for us in 21st century America, it begins like it did for these men, with a decision to say, yes, Jesus, I am willing to follow you. Then, like when we play follow the leader, it's a decision to be intentional about living with Jesus, watching his actions, listening to his words, and choosing to imitate him. And the best place to do that is in his word. Making an intentional choice every day to read the Bible, listen to what he says, and then imitate what Jesus does is what discipleship is all about. Because Jesus is all about love, and love doesn't just say, I love you. Love does. So watching what Jesus does shows us how to love. Finally, seek godly wisdom and advice. The men in today's reading and other like Paul went on to show and tell about Jesus. As they did, others came to know Jesus for who he really is, their loving Savior. We grow in our faith and knowledge of Jesus when we seek and learn from other believers who are spiritually mature. And then as we go on into our lives and share that same knowledge and that same what Jesus has done for us, we make disciples from others. I believe Jesus is calling us to be his disciples. I believe Jesus is saying to us, come follow me. I believe he wants to transform us, his believers in the church today, into people who will love others, who will catch people with their love, and who will change the world for Jesus. So the question that is out there now is, now that we have received the invitation, will we be like Simon, Andrew, James, and John and be all in? Are we willing to say yes when Jesus offers that invitation? Say yes to Jesus. You won't be sorry that you did. Say yes and let him transform you into a new person that can make a difference in your world. If you would like to know more about what it means to follow Jesus, please give us a call. We would love to talk to you about it.